What you went live?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Hollywood Matrimony Live. Thank you so much for joining us.
Are we going live now?
Make sure you check out our website, HollywoodMatrimony.com. Go find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and Hive.
I didn't go my hair today at all.
I was going to tell you what happened.
I've been working all day. I got up. This is the first time I put on clothes.
Wow.
I got out of bed, walked to my office. I've been working ever since.
Wow. Okay, well, thank you for putting on clothes.
This is what it looks like for someone that has an art deadline. Vastly approaching.
All right. We have such a wide variety of things to talk about.
And I'm wearing a yellow shirt.
I'm wearing Aladdin. I'm trying to wear a movie shirt since it's a movie show.
I'm wearing a TV shirt. Does that count?
It counts.
Kamakono's shrimp whatever truck.
Okay, so you can pick where we want to go.
I don't care. You pick. I'm fine.
Do you want to go here? Do you want to go there? Do you want to go there?
Sure.
Let's start with this.
Okay.
Because this, my friends, was an interesting piece of cinema.
Is it interesting?
It is an interesting piece of cinema. It is the movie Bloodthirst. And as you can see from the poster, it's a vampire movie. We're set in a future post-apocalyptic world where there are just very few humans left. And there's this band of vampires who are just feeding on everybody. And one man rises up to fight back. And that is Costas Mandylor. That is the most exciting thing right there. I told you about the movie.
Where do I begin with this? There's a good premise here.
I made it sound really good, didn't I?
No, not really.
Okay.
There's a good premise to this movie. And I'm a fan of Costas Mandylor. He looks awesome in the movie.
He looks real cool.
He does a decent job working with what he's got to work with for this movie. Robert Lasardo, who a lot of people have seen him playing. He's been around forever. He's got tons of tattoos. A lot of times you see him as like a gang leader or a criminal assassin or something like that. He plays one of the vampires. He's good in the movie too.
He's pretty good.
Like they're both doing things, but then you also have Tara Reid, who's always Tara Reid, whatever you want to go with that. I think Tara Reid made one movie that wasn't affected by Tara Reid, which was the American Pie stuff. The Sharknado's fine, but we all know what Sharknado is, and it's what it is. This movie, I think, was really trying on its lower end budget and trying to create something. And there's a good movie in this movie. It's just not here.
Yeah, we just didn't get it. I think too. I mean, it looks like an independent film.
Oh, it doesn't look like it. It is.
The makeup, I guess I had a problem with the makeup just from the beginning. They tried to do the stylistic white face on vampires, except that they didn't bother to do necks and hands.
That seems to be a thing with Hollywood
so
anyway.
It's like very here. So like the one guy you were saying, I believe he's Hispanic.
Yeah.
So you have white face and then you have brown skin and brown hands. So that doesn't really work.
They
for
do
me.
that in Hollywood a lot, where they make somebody super pale, but then their hands look bright peach or whatever the color of their body is, and it was just. There's this master character that looks awesome when they use the kind of the stereotypical like Buffy brow kind of thing for a lot of them, which looks great. A lot of the blood stuff they do and some of the ripping into stuff looks good.
The master character's the best.
I feel like they spent all their money on
Costas Mandylor.
No. All their money on effects.
We want effects.
Not on actors. Because outside of those two, sadly, not really nobody else in the movie is all that great.
Yeah.
You know, and I hate bashing actors because some of these people could be their first film. They're working with what they got. You know, some people they'll bring in these movies maybe just they didn't have anybody. Hey, come do this role real quick, and then to just bash them. But a lot of the people in this movie just aren't good. But it could be clunky dialogue. It could be the way they were directed. I don't know. I had very low expectations for this movie, but very high hopes. I think the thing that was baffling the most is that it ends with will return for Bloodthirst 2, and I'm like, somebody saw this. Somebody saw this and already approved a second one.
There's a second one coming, my friends. This is like a friend movie marathon. Call your friends over, get some snacks, some drinks together, and just sit back and relax.
It's remind me of one of those like the Asylum movies.
Yes,
where it's really trying to be something, and I think they're using that. Costas Mandylor is not the big star he used to be. He does mostly outside of the Saw franchise. I don't know much else he's done other than like a lot of straight to video movies. I'm not saying he's not working. You know, even his brother, outside of Louis Mandalore, outside of My Big Fat Greek Wedding, he's been doing mostly straight to video stuff too.
Yeah.
But I don't fault that for any actor because actors work,
you gotta work
projects, and a lot of times they take projects like this not knowing that it's not going to be a good movie. They're like, oh, this is a cool script, let's do this, and then the movie that comes out, most of them know about halfway through, but that time it's too late.
I think my biggest problem with the whole thing is Tara Reid and the bad makeup being the bad.
The big
and the weird. I don't even understand.
They do a voice thing that's awful.
Oh, everybody has a monster voice.
They have like, well, they put like a reverb type.
Yeah, on top of their normal voice.
Their voice.
So everybody has a
make
growl
them sound
voice.
like they're deep evil, but they all sound like they're in a cave.
But they're also walking around in the sun, so they're also daywalkers. Nobody explains this.
No, they're not. They're all covered. They're covering themselves up.
Technically, but not very well.
They're not walking around with like just their face out in the sun. They're covering
it's not
up.
very good.
But,
I don't know.
It is. It's just not a good movie.
I mean, it's a group of humans fighting back against the vampires.
I mean, if you're one of those that just likes,
you're in love with Tara Reid. Great.
Oops.
You like Hostess Mandalore. You like vampires. Go for it. I mean,
yeah, it's one of those that if you like any kind of like just trash cinema, bad movies, vampire movies. No, I'm just saying it's one of those things. There's a market for I know people that they just love bad movies, and somebody might watch this movie and think and love it. I don't know. I don't judge anybody. I might judge their taste, but
this poster is way cooler than what we actually get in the movie.
Yeah, although they don't even put Robert Losardo on the cover of the poster, and he's like one of the main guys.
He's the main guy.
His name's on the poster, on the actual poster, which is the same image, but their names are on it. But he's not even on it.
Yeah. So, I don't know, man. It was just wow. It was wow.
Yeah,
put a link to our review there. Check it out on our website, HollywoodMatchMoney.com.
Make your own decisions.
Yeah, it just wasn't for me. And that's okay. Let me tell you the other movie that was not for us. It's not even on this list, but we watched it, Skinamarink. Lord have mercy, what a waste of time. I'm just going to tell you.
Oh, yeah, movie is just
horrible. Absolute trash. I'm sure there's people that loved it. Somebody said this is a Gen Z movie. I don't want to offend a whole generation of people, but it wasn't scary at all. All right, let's go here. This is exciting. Can we go here?
Sure.
Oh my gosh, I've been looking forward to this. It's the Justice League RWBY, RYBY, or whatever. Part 2. Part 1 caught me out of surprise. I don't normally watch anything anime, but you brought it and you're like, and I was like, yeah, let's give it a try.
Because we don't. I watched anime when I was younger, but I'm so out of touch with it.
Oh, but it was such a good movie.
We were always saying RWBY, but apparently it's RWBY.
RWBY?
That's not how you spell Ruby, but whatever. I know it's their initials. But after the first movie, we kind of dug it. It was kind of fun, nice little twist.
Yeah.
And so we were hoping, because if you don't know about the first movie, the Justice League gets sucked into the world of RWBY or whatever it is, and so it kind of alters their look and their costumes and their powers.
They're kind of anime looking.
Yeah, to match that universe.
That's so cool.
So the end of it sent everybody home. And so we were talking about hoping that the next movie would kind of twist it, and it does. This one brings them
That's so fun.
to this and then twists their costumes and powers up a little bit.
Yep.
I actually like this one better than the first one.
Did you?
But I think it's because this one, well, I'm getting my Justice League the way they're supposed to be looking.
Correct.
But which was cool in the other movie, just see different takes on them. But in this one, this is like pretty much not just one long nonstop battle.
Right. That's probably
so. I think that's why it's just more enjoyable, because this one definitely works in conjunction with the first movie.
Correct. You
can't just
need to watch the first one. Okay?
You watch this one. Yeah, you watch this one, you'll be like, how do they know each other? What's going on? Because this is a direct continuation, so it's like almost literally picks up where it left off and dives in.
I kind of like the first one because I did like seeing our characters in a different style. I like the anime take on like a Batman who has literal wings, like bat wings.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, sorry. But just seeing them too, and it also brings them down to a teenage age, because all the characters in that land are teenage heroes. And so over here, then we get to see the adult versions of Team RWBY. So it's actually really cool. I liked this. This was really fun. Both of them together.
Yeah, I think they are ones you should watch them back to back. But this one, like I said, it's action packed. It's tons of cool creatures and cool powers, and getting them work together and seeing how they work their powers in conjunction with each other. I was hoping to get a lot more, maybe being on this side in the biggest scope as the attack was. I was hoping we get to see more members of the Justice League. They're mentioned, so they are out there fighting the good fight
we're
against
in the
this.
middle
But
of the
I'm like,
movie. You're like, where is everyone? I'm like, they're out protecting the
I know
city.
where
You're
they
like,
are,
I
but I'm
know, but
like-
I want to see them.
like, why are none of them coming to help the big main ones to where they're trying to stop it all?
This guy.
But it's just because I just wanted to see the other
I
versions
know.
of.
You wanted to see everybody.
Let Hawkman fly by at least, Jesus. Anyway, it's not a lot to say about it. I mean, the animation is cool. It's vibrant. It's crisp. It still has that anime style to it. So even though it's gone in this different world, the visuals and the art style is the same.
Yes.
I didn't think I was going to like it, but I actually liked it more this time around as well than I did the first. First time, it took me a little while to get into it. This one, I was all in the first one right away. So.
And I'm telling you, I've always said this: DC's animated films is where their game is at. They've put a lot of work into those.
I saw some video the other day where somebody was talking about, okay, choose Marvel, DC, and one of the guys says DC animated, Marvel live action.
Yes, exactly. That is the exact correct answer. So I would watch. Man, these are great. Watch them.
Yeah. So even if you're not an anime fan, don't know anything about the RWBY, RWBY, whatever they are, you don't need to. You can dive right into the first movie. It gives you just enough information to get into it, and they work well together.
There you go.
And it is available now on the Blu-ray and DVD. Both of them are.
Ooh. Can we talk about this?
If you want to.
Okay.
I haven't posted a review yet because I just haven't got around to it.
Okay.
Because it's not actually on Blu-ray, it's on digital now.
Oh, okay.
So we can still talk about it.
All right,
So
let's talk about this. We've been wanting to watch this, obviously, since a couple months ago when it first came out.
Yeah, we like the first two
Love it.
Agatha Christie adaptations that Kenneth Branagh did, which was Death on the Nile and Murder on the Orient Express, which is basically taking this Poirot character and not Ross, and doing these different mysteries. It's always got a big ensemble cast.
Not the ensemble
Of the first two, I will say a big difference here is the first two, I think, had bigger and more well-known people. This one had they're well-known people, but they're not. I don't think they're as big a cast, which was fine.
Yeah,
it served a purpose. I like the cast.
We got 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah, we got Yellowstone.
Yeah,
we got martial arts.
With Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah,
and then what's her name from Being Funny?
I don't know what Being Funny means.
The comedian lady.
I don't know who you're talking about. Are you talking about the Maisel thing? Is that what she's from?
No.
What are you talking about? Comedian thing.
Tina Fey.
Oh, okay.
The comedian lady.
I don't have my glasses on, so that picture doesn't look like her. And I actually forgot she was in
Where
this.
are your glasses?
I don't wear them on the show because I can see that fine. I just that darkness on here. I didn't look like Tina Fey. I actually thought that was the other lady that was like the assistant helper that's running around the movie. It's a main character. I honestly forgot Tina Fey was in the movie.
And she did really good.
She's good. Yeah, she's good.
Because I'm like over here like sweater wetter, but she does other things. Sorry.
So what were your thoughts on this one?
And now I have the kids saying sweater weather, sweater weather.
No. Well, tell us what a Hunting in Venice is.
Okay, so Hunting in Venice. There's this lady here on the end of the poster who says that her daughter mysteriously died, and she has Michelle Yeoh's character come and hold a seance because she wants to talk to her daughter one last time. And while we're there, a murder happens. Dun dun dun.
So we've already, at this point, we've had Poirot has retired.
Yes, he's retired. Tina Fey's like, just come with me to this party.
She wants him to come and prove that it's fake.
Right. So come with me to this party. I'm eating on the show. I'm always eating on the show. I'm always eating.
Yes.
I eat on every meeting I'm in at work too. It gives me comfort. She's like, just come.
What do you need comfort from?
She's like, oh, and it's Halloween, so you might as well just come. And we happened to watch this movie on Halloween night, didn't we?
We did, in fact, because it dropped on, this one's dropped on Hulu on Halloween night.
So we go, he's just a casual thing. He proves parts of the seance are not real, but then mysterious things do begin to happen. And of course, in classic profession, he's like, lock it down. Everyone is a suspect.
Yeah, so this one is interesting because it's a totally different tone than the other two films and story-wise, because it does feel like part ghost story, horror type film. It's not scary, but it is creepy. It reminded me of the old like haunted house type movies, with the that's what I'm blanking. Anyway, like Christopher Lee and all that kind of stuff, that kind of vibe. And but you're still getting the mystery, and there's some interesting twists in terms of how they explain stuff, and
No.
But I was surprised Michelle Yeoh wasn't in the movie more, because she's kind of in and out. And she was so good in that little bit she had.
Yeah.
That I was a little bummed that she was going early. It doesn't hurt the movie. It just
Okay,
I was bummed because I wanted more of her.
Yes.
Know? But
she doesn't kick anyone. Sadly,
I've gotten over that because she not stop, but she hasn't been kicking anyone for a long time on a lot of things.
I know.
She's done a lot of other things. So if she stops doing it, then everyone pops up, kicks somebody in the face, and stops doing it again.
Anyway.
I like the tone of this one. It is my least favorite of the three.
Really?
Yeah, not because it's bad.
I enjoyed it because it's a little creepy.
No, I enjoyed it. I don't feel like, maybe it's just because it's a different tone. I didn't feel like I was getting the same Perot, but it's also later. He's retired. He's kind of having to refine his game. So maybe that was part of it, where the first two, he's very on it, and he's right on top of people. It wasn't such a build-up. I still thoroughly enjoyed the movie. I think I like that it's doing what it does, and it's not just the same thing again.
Correct. Well, I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I like the creepy vibe, but I think also because my Agatha Christie experience is very much theater related, and it was one of Kyle's favorite genres. Kyle was the director, and it was one of his RFP. It was one of his favorite genres to do Agatha Christie, but take it and try to make it not scary but creepy. So we would always light it in a certain way.
Well, I think that's what makes this movie strong. It is the lighting.
The lighting is good. The sound is good.
the aesthetics of everything. Yeah. Like there's times that you can't even really tell what year it's supposed to be taking place in.
Correct.
And it just,
and I liked that too. I think it's the 40s. It's post World War II.
Well, no, I'm not saying that.
No. But
I'm just saying I liked how it was very kind of ominous of.
And we're in Venice. People are wearing the creepy mask. It's Halloween. We're in a building that they say is haunted by children who go and try to kill the doctors and nurses that were torturing them.
Yeah.
So we have this cool story in this setting. And it appears that it truly is a haunting, that these ghost children are killing people or whatever. And of course, Perot's like, let me find a logical explanation.
Well, that's what I like, is we're getting to see the Perot side of it. I think is what makes it a stronger film, because you're getting to see a different vulnerability of him, like questioning everything he knows.
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute, maybe I'm wrong.
Could it be ghost children?
It's always been nonsense. And then he starts seeing things, and then it's been like, wait a minute now.
Wait a minute.
But I will say one of the strong scenes for me was getting to see Kelly Riley doing something different, who's the lady from Yellowstone. Yes. But Yellowstone, she's just this crazy bitch. And I'm kind of over her, and most people are, but I also love her on that show. She's the kind of lady that just walk up to some other woman and punch her in the face. And does many times.
Wow.
But here she seems a little more vulnerable. She seems a little more relaxed. She's a little crazed, but not crazy.
Right.
And I just like seeing her in something different that was completely opposite of what I normally see her in. She's really good in it. So I think the whole cast worked.
I think the whole cast work. And we need to give props to 50 Shades, to Jamie Dornan.
I don't need to give props to him. He wasn't that good. He was probably the weakest part of the movie.
But he didn't have a huge part, but his part was important.
Oh, it was.
And it was good.
He was fine.
And I think anything post 50 Shades, he's been doing really well.
He's been all right.
Wow.
I think
somebody's a hater.
Well, no, I'm not hating just on him, because he has done some other stuff that he was okay in. But I think of all the people in this movie, of all the characters, I think his character could have been easily played by
someone else.
I feel like the rest of them, Tina Fey probably as well, but she had such a.
I think I really liked her
swag and the way she carried herself.
Yes, but also her.
It was almost like that. Come on down,
where she's not fazed by the status of Perot. Like everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, it's Detective Perot." And she's like, "Yeah, come on, dude."
She's constantly taking jabs at him.
Yeah, I think I like that.
You can tell there's a friendship and a hatred of each other at the same time.
It's a rivalry. Because she writes mystery novels, and she's always wanting to write stories with him. And he's like, I
have no time for your nonsense, basically.
So I liked it. I'm just going to give some shout outs to him, because I think he needs some love.
Who? Jamie Dornan?
Yes,
Dornan, whatever that means? He doesn't need props.
He needs love. People just pigeonholed him into 50 Shades.
I don't even remember he's 50 Shades. So in
That's
the
the
watch,
only
I
thing I remember.
was like, oh, 'cause he's in Robin Hood and he's done a bunch of other crap. But
Fine.
I'm just not a fan of the guy. But like I said, he was fine in the movie. He didn't hurt the movie.
And I just got to give props to Perot's mustache because this time it's not just one single, it's a double.
I thought it's always been a double.
Has it always been a double? Oh man, that thing is like
mesmerized by his
by the first mustache. It's like, and then I'm like, could you grow a mustache like that? And I don't know that your mustache would grow out that way.
I think you need to stop worrying about my facial hair.
No, I'm just wondering. I mean, I just think that's fancy right there.
I didn't even comb my hair, and you're thinking about my girl. You think I'm gonna take care of a mustache like that?
Yes. Anyways, check it out. I think if you like the others, you'll like this one too.
It's available now on digital and Hulu, and it will be hitting Blu-ray and DVD sometime soon.
I wish we would get this is totally just a side selfish note. I wish we would get there's an Agatha Christie story, and they did a film like black and white, way old, and we did the play here locally, and it's
November 28th. It's coming on Blu-ray.
I gotta find out what it is, but
who knows? I don't know how well.
I don't want to spoil alert, but the end of that one is like.
I don't know how well this one did, and I don't know if he's got plans to do another one, or if it was just hey, I had 3 I want to make.
Yeah.
I get the feeling that he's a fan, Kenneth Branagh, because he directed all 3 of these. And because there's such a vast variety of stories, I'm assuming if the studio will still give him money, I'm sure he'll probably still keep making them. Let me look and see if there's been any discussion of another one.
Is it this one?
I don't know.
It has Basil Rathbone. Like, that's how old school this is. I think it's this one, and then there were none. But it's a different... Will it tell you? If there's a...
Well, I'm looking to see if... All right, we need to move on.
All right, moving to the next one. We talked about that already. Goodness gracious, we're here.
I think he's perfect. Totally not rated, but I think he's perfect for these anyway because he comes from Shakespeare and.
Yeah, and you could keep doing like numerous mysteries. I mean,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
There's an innumerable amount of Agatha Christie stories and mysteries that you could do. So okay. I'm going to go here. Which one has been out the longest of these? I'm just going to go here.
No, all of them are the same. They're all this week.
All of this? Yeah. Well, I'm going to save that. I'm going to go here.
Whatever.
So I've been wanting to see this one as well for quite a while. We just missed it. And then we wanted to go see it, and then something new would come out and be like, well, we got to watch this one. So this one just kept getting pushed to the side, unfortunately. I am so happy we finally watched it. It Lives Inside.
It was what?
It Lives Inside.
Oh, I thought you said it was incredible. I'm like...
No, it's not incredible, but it was interesting, and I'm glad we watched it. This is basically an Indian-style horror movie, but told in an American production, I believe. And it's partly in Hindi and partly in English. Thank God for subtitles. And or that our friend was here and could fill in some of the blanks on some of their cultural slang for us. So we got the first-hand knowledge.
The problem we made with this movie that I told him was going to be a problem, told her was going to be a problem, she doesn't listen to me, is we were had a bunch of people over, and then in the middle of a party, they decided, hey, we want to watch this movie. And then everybody's going to sit down and watch this movie that's a slow burn, and I don't think anybody was interested because everybody left. This movie also lived inside our house to kill the party. But that is not a reflection on the movie itself because we will discuss it. But yes. Let me just say people left.
No, but
it was getting late.
It was like 1 a.m, I think.
No, it wasn't. Everybody left at like 11:45. It was
12:30.
It was not 12:30. Everybody was gone from our house by 12 o'clock at night.
Okay.
I looked at the clock. It was 11:55 when the last person left, and I'm like, our parties have gotten to where they suck now.
No, we're older now. Is what.
Which means they suck. At one point of the party, everybody was just sitting around the dining table eating and having a conversation. That's not.
That was great.
That's great for old people. That's what I'm telling you. It's not a good party. Our old party, there was people have relations in the bathroom. There was drunken debauchery. There was half naked people. There was dancing. Those are parties, sister.
Okay, if you say so.
I tell you, this is the one that used to be.
Anyways,
let me tell you about a bath and
so
floor situation.
Let's talk about the movie.
All right.
Please. All right.
Oh, look at her. She's like, oh no, let's veer away because I know it's going to take me down a road of my past discrepancies.
Yes.
Anyway,
Anyhow, the movie It Lives Inside.
It is a very slow movie.
It starts off slow.
For the first 2 acts, it's pretty slow, but by design, it's I felt it was a necessary slow.
I agree.
That is trying to build up the tension of not only there's the one girl that's got the jar that's clearly something's going on inside it, and then you have the other girl who's really fighting her heritage because she wants to be more Americanized.
See, and I think that to me is just such an interesting use of storytelling. Is the fear is not necessarily just the fear of what it is, but the fear of accepting who you are in a culture that wants you to be very American. And so she doesn't even want to take her food to school. She doesn't want to speak Hindi in front of anyone. I mean, she's really trying to just be very American and fit in. But it's one of those things where you just have to accept who you really are inside and be who you are and be proud of it. And and
worry about the big creature that's going to come out later.
Well, and I thought it was an interesting use too of the metaphor that the creature was something related to her heritage, and her mother told her in these stories, and that even as you get older, you remember the stories of your people, that they come back, and it is important to know those things, because if she didn't, this creature thing could be doing something, but it's like, oh, I know this story, I know what to do. I just thought that was such a cool use. But see, that's the thing. That's why it is slow.
It's slow, but I think that's what elevates this film is the cultural aspect. I think it's something that's helped some numerous films recently where they've infused them with some sort of a cultural heritage, whether it's something like Blue Beetle that's dealing with more Hispanic heritage.
La Llorona.
It makes it more than just your generic superhero movie. That movie, if that was a bunch of white people, that movie would have been just something we've seen a billion times.
Correct.
But by infusing just that little bit of Hispanic heritage into it and making it about their family and everything else, there's more there. And in this one, it's the same kind of thing. And I found it compelling watching it, but it also hinges on the two girls that are leading the movie.
Yeah, Sam and Tamira.
Yeah, the main girl with the thing on her head. She
Sam.
Carries the whole movie.
Yeah,
and she's outstanding.
She has some good eyes, by the way. Like,
because she has to have
expressive.
She has probably the most variety of emotions that she has to deal with between the fighting the heritage, but also the fear of this creature, but also trying to be what she's not, and kind of struggling with her own inner self and her relationships and
with her mom and stuff. And I kind of really identified with that whole relationship with the mom thing and the cultural thing where like her family speaking to her in their language and she just replies in English. But she does it, I think, because she's embarrassed. I just did it. I used to do the same thing. I still do. I mean, I do better. I try to speak to them more in Spanish. But I
live in the US of A, sister.
But I think, like I told you, I was confused when I started school. I thought I didn't know there was a difference between English and Spanish. I thought everybody spoke the same thing.
Well, that's just because you were.
And we mixed it all together. We always did. We still do. So it's just interesting.
They don't. They don't mix anything well together.
We do mix it all together.
The other young lady,
Tamira.
I think she has an easier and a harder job because she's got to be nonstop terrified and morose and sad and dark without becoming something like that you are afraid of or fear. You feel more sorry for her.
Yeah.
When you see her, you don't immediately look at her and go,
this girl crazy.
You think something's wrong with her, but you're like, something's done something to her. That's not, oh, here comes a crazy girl kind of mentality. And so I thought they're the reason with the cultural stuff that elevates this film to something a little bit more than it might have been otherwise.
Yeah.
The film does play it safe a lot. It tries to stick to a lot of by the numbers stuff, which I think had some missed opportunities, and the pacing might not work for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the reasons we were watching at the party that a lot of people lost interest because nothing was really happening. And you're having to sit around and focus on it, and people weren't there for that.
Yeah.
Even our Indian friend that watched it, part of it, you know, she made a comment. She goes, I already know where this is going to go, but I'm wondering if she really does know where it's going to go. She assumed,
Yeah.
just because of what's happening. So I would love to have her finish it and then tell me.
Yeah. Well,
or I'd actually want to get her to tell me before she watches it where she thinks it's going to go, so we know if she's right or wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And if she's right, then I'll be like, okay, well, then you don't need to watch it. If she's not, I'm like, you are so off, sister.
Yeah. I think if somebody read this comments like PG-13 horror movies should just be made illegal. They need to be rated R, which I kind of agree.
I agree, but
I understand.
Handled properly, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because you can do a lot of stuff with PG-13 with tone and style and stuff. If you don't need blood and, you know, a lot of stuff, you can make it work.
Yeah.
There have been films that have made it work and been excellent.
Yeah.
But I would prefer a rated R because when something's rated R,
yeah,
you automatically know potential of things could go crazy. When it's PG-13, you already know they're going to play it safe.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I think that even if they make the same film, but make it rated R by throwing one scene in there, an F-bomb or something to make it R.
Well, that one thing with the boyfriend was cool.
Yeah.
That was cool. And somebody got scared about that. And I'm like, that was just cool.
But the problem is the elevation of all these kind of things on regular TV and stuff is up to what an R rating is.
That's true.
And, you know, if we look at something and said, oh, if it's PG-13, we already know it's not going to be bloody. It's not going to be a bunch of cussing. It's not going to be super violent.
Yeah.
So we're already calmed down now.
Yeah.
Whereas it's R, you're like, I don't really know.
Yeah, you don't really know
what's going to happen. I think that's how that affects us.
I think, too, there was something else I was going to say, and then I forgot, so it probably didn't matter, but meh. It was good.
It was good. It's one of those, like I said,
it's intriguing.
Just make sure you
and I like that we're getting and look into other cultures because I think that's important.
Just make sure you stick with it if you're going to watch it.
Oh, the ending,
because it is slow.
I enjoyed the ending. I like where it left us because it leaves it up to us, but I think we kind of know, and it kind of made me feel at the end of like baby dumplings, where it's like.
Well, no, I don't think it left us not to know. I think you know exactly what's going on.
Yeah, but there's that one look.
I think it leaves it to where there's an option to make more.
Yeah.
Because you could kind of shuffle this around a lot of different people and do different things with it.
Yeah.
So
we'll see.
I enjoyed it. Like I said, if you decide to watch it, stick with it till the end before you make final judgment because it is a slow burn.
It's a little slow at the beginning.
Big props for practical effects.
Yes. So by the way,
I know there's some stuff CGI.
This creature thing. Yeah, that's cool.
I wasn't a super big fan of the creature. It's cool.
I'm glad that there's a person doing a creature. That's what I was most happy about. So I'm good about it.
It Lives Inside. It will be available on DVD on Tuesday. I think it might be already on digital. So
awesome.
Decide for yourself.
Okay, tell me about this movie right here. Is that the president?
That would be Kiefer Sutherland.
It sure as heck is the president.
Sure is. That's Jack Bauer. He's an American hero.
He is American.
This movie is called The CaineMutiny Court Martial. And I knew nothing about this movie.
True story?
No, it's based on a novel by Herman Wouk, W-O-U-K.
Okay.
Which was also, I guess, made into a play and written by William Friedkin, who is the director of The Exorcist.
Oh.
He passed away this year. This is his final film.
Wow.
It's also got Lance Reddick in it. It's his last films too. But you can tell, like, I didn't know they had turned the novel into a stage production when I watched it. But you can very much tell that it's the way it's framed because the entire thing is just the courtroom. So it's a military courtroom. So basically the premise is there's a typhoon or something that this battleship has gone into, and then somebody relieves the commanding officer of command, and there's essentially a mutiny, and so then there's a trial now. Was it warranted? Should he have had this mutiny? And so it's essentially the lawyers. Lance Reddick is the head of the Judicial Council of the military. You have Jason Clarke, who's one lawyer, this lady who's another lawyer. Then you have the persons being defended, and then you have the various witnesses. Kiefer Sutherland's character is the main commander of the vessel that's kind of being accused of things. He's not the one on trial, though.
I gotcha.
The guy on trial is the guy that took his command away, basically caused a mutiny.
Gotcha.
He's like brought in, so he's only in the beginning of the film, in the final act of the film.
Okay.
But they're the best scenes of the whole movie.
Is it like boom boom, like good pacing?
It's heavy talking.
That's what
that's
the
all
talking.
it is.
Because if you're telling me it was a play, to me that means people are sitting and it's going to be like. Boom,
and
boom,
being
boom,
a
boom.
military court, it's not like
Ooh.
a trial of like with a jury.
It's JAG.
I mean, there's a jury,
basically,
but it's like
right?
there's a chair in the center of the room, and the tables are off to the side. So you're not looking into this room full of people.
Like
you know, it doesn't have an audience like a normal courtroom.
Right. No,
you know, you have a jury, or not a jury, but you don't have a jury at all.
No, it's
you have the military.
It's like a little panel of people.
And then you have this lawyer, the defendant, the lawyer, and then you have the prosecutor, attorney, and then you have a chair sitting up on a pedestal. So every witness that comes in sits in the center of the room, and they're the only thing in the room. So there's a lot of times when those witnesses come in, that's all you're seeing is them and the lawyer. And so you can immediately be like, oh, okay, I can see how they staged this. So it's like there's a scene, there's some scenes in the hallway, and then there's a scene at the end of the movie that after it wraps it up at like a party. So there's really only 3 locations.
Yeah.
And so I can easily see that working on stage. Obviously, that it has. I will say it felt initially, just because of that, it felt more like either a TV movie or an episode of something. You know,
an episode of JAG.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. It felt like I was watching.
Where's the guy from JAG?
It felt like I was watching episodic television, but with these bigger stars,
right,
kind of thing. But beyond that aspect of it, it's really interesting because it's dealing with not only perspective of cowardice and how people are feeling and how people are treated, how the military looks at stuff. So like there's one moment of like where they start kind of pestering him about stuff and they're questioning him and they're making an accusation, and the main counsel, Lance Reddick, stops him to the lawyer and is like, okay, he goes, you know, the things with military, and if your question is, are you still want to take this route? Because if this doesn't play out, you could be court-martialed for creating this, or this could ruin this guy's career for his entire thing. Is this still the direction you want to go?
Yikes.
You know, and there's a lot of interesting when they make objections, and then even the counsel sometimes will interject to ask a question to the witness. You know, like there'll be in normal court, the judge doesn't ask the witness questions typically, and this would be like the panel wants to ask a question. They'll ask him something about this, and there's a great monologue at the end from Kiefer Sutherland that's just a rant. It's a tirade. It's ramblings of almost sounds like a madman, but it's the perfect perspective of everything that's happened before it and who he is.
Yeah.
And so you're getting to see all these different officers and characters that some have to do with it, psychiatrists, and how they, you know, and then you're seeing the defendant, defense attorney, he already has issues going into this trial. And part of it's because you're going against a commanding officer in his entire career and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And so but he's also cutthroat and he goes all in doing his job, but you still see his issues of doing it. So it's actually really good. But like I said, it is not an exciting movie. It's one that you watch. And I think if it's portrayed anywhere close to how those kind of courts really are, it's an interesting inside look of seeing that, and also seeing how people's personal issues play into trying to discredit someone else or their perspective of something. Like there's one whole argument about one of the guys like, well, I was getting in trouble because my shirt wasn't tucked in.
Nah.
And they're like, so while he was yelling about shirt tucked in, they weren't turning the ship like they were supposed to be doing that. And he's like, was he a big stickler? He goes, yeah, but it's protocol. I'm supposed to have my shirt tucked in. I didn't have it. And so, yes, he did not tolerate that. And so it was a lot of these little things. And then when you hear his perspective, the same thing, they're like, well, yeah, I did it, but it took 3 seconds, you know, yell at him, tuck his shirt in and move on, you know? So it's that whole thing, and then confuse people that are on the stand for no reason. And they're like, there's this one poor kid who's like, he's one of my favorite parts of the movie because he's 20 years old. He's like a little private, and they're asking him questions, but he's answering the questions either confusing or exactly what you're asking him. They're like, so who were you on the boat with? He goes, my crew. And they're like, no. Who is the commanding officer? The commander. And the lady's like, what was the commander's name? He goes, ma'am, you already know the commander's name.
Wow.
Like, please say the commander's name. And then they're like, do you see the person in this courtroom? And she's like, yes, I see 2 men. She goes, what is the man's name sitting over here? And he goes, which one, ma'am? There's 2 men sitting there.
Oh my
gosh,
guy.
He was cracking me up but it wasn't him being a dick.
No.
He was just confused. Like he didn't understand why anybody gave a crap about what he has to say. And one of the points they asked him, you hear these two officers arguing, you're telling me you don't remember anything they said. He goes, man, we're told we're not supposed to be listening to what the officers are talking about.
That's true.
He goes, so I was doing my job and not paying attention to them. I heard them yelling, but I have no idea what they were saying.
Exactly.
She goes, you're saying you're not even paying attention to anybody doing your job. And he goes, no, man, that's not what I said. I said, I'm not listening to them. Mm-hmm. And of course, it goes against them. It's that kind of stuff. It was interesting.
Wow, that's cool.
But like I said, it's not super exciting, so some people may get bored with it.
It's a talkie.
But it's available now on digital and on Paramount Plus.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you could go watch it right now.
And if you like William Friedkin or Kiefer Sutherland, it's William Friedkin's final film, so you should watch it anyway.
Okay, there you go.
And look, I wore a shirt matching it.
Oh, nice.
Unintentionally.
Okay, now let's go here. Okay, Gran Turismo. We have been wanting to watch this for months.
And I was so annoyed that this movie existed.
Why?
Before we saw the trailer.
Oh, okay.
Because it was another case as they announced they were making a movie about the video game Gran Turismo.
And
I'm like, oh my god, because they've done Need for Speed, they've done all these, and they just never work right. Not that I'm not even a fan of the game. It's just
a video game movie.
Yeah, it's like, okay, that means you mean we're gonna make a racing movie. That's what you're gonna make, and then be partially about the game, and then it's gonna be all ridiculous. Not knowing that there's an actual storyline, a real life story based off the game that happened.
Yes.
Which I'm so glad that's what this is.
Yeah.
Tell everybody the story.
So good. So it's basically based on the true story of Jean, who is this young kid who plays this Gran Turismo game, which now I've done my research. And like these people go all in. They're building their little console. It's not just a video game. Like you can buy the little steering wheel for it. You can build a whole cabin thing for your car. You can upgrade. Like these people can spend thousands and thousands of dollars building just the video gaming unit.
The rest of the world already knows this.
I didn't know that. Who knew? Anyway, so
everybody but you apparently.
He's playing the game. He plays with his friends. He plays at the video cafe. He's like one of the highest ranked things just in the little thing. Separately, what's his name over here?
Oh, I didn't share any of my thing today.
What happened? Orlando Bloom is like, hey, Nissan wants to put together a contest and we're going to hire gamers to come and race real cars. And they're like, this is insane. For contest. And we're going to, he's like, this is insane. And so this guy, which is, what's his name?
Are you talking about the coach?
Yeah.
David Harbour?
Yeah, but I was thinking of who he is. He's the, in Marvel.
Oh, because you're going that. So he's known mostly for those that don't know, he's from Stranger Things.
Yeah.
And then he also played Hellboy. And then he also played the Red Guardian in Black Widow. And soon to be Thunderbolts.
Anywho, so he's like, no.
You're a mess.
So they actually do have these racers come out. This is true, guys. They do a proper movie ending. We get to see like pictures of like these kids were really there. They were really training, really racing these cars. And so we go kind of through this guy's life, Jan, of him just racing these cars and trying to win these races. And it's amazing. And it sucks you in. Like we've watched, there was that other one about the racing cars where they go to that one, the 24-hour event. It's the one with Matt Damon and the other one where they were building the race car.
Yeah, that was the one about the
Ford.
The Mustangs.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking
about. So, I mean, that was intriguing to me. I'm not typically into racing, but this was such an amazing movie because we're really following
Ford versus Ferrari.
Yes, we're really following this young kid. And by the way, this kid is amazing to me.
I don't know if he was amazing.
I thought he was amazing because he has to take us through. I think he's also struggling with who he is as a person, wanting to make his family proud, but then his family doesn't believe in him, and they're like, "Why are you wasting your life?"
I think in this case, though, it's not a culture thing. It's not. I think it's a financial thing. I think his dad works in the rail yards. That they don't have a lot of money.
His dad wants him to be realistic, like get a real job.
I've been through this conversation with my own dad, with my art stuff and everything I've ever done. So I related to these discussions because I've had these arguments, and I've had these arguments in the last few years, like. Not so much lately, but it used to be if I mentioned being broke or mentioned it, it's like, maybe it's time for you to finally get a real job. I worked with that, the entertainment business that I was in. I worked there for 13 years and constantly got, well, maybe you need to get a real job. Like, because it can't comprehend
Do they
work
understand now that you have a real job, kind of?
No, they understand that you make all our money.
But they understand you work, right?
But
you teach like 20 classes a week. Is that not enough?
I know. But here's the thing: is he knows I'm busy. He knows I'm doing a lot of stuff. My dad taught martial arts classes as well. It baffles him that I could make a living doing that.
It is baffling
because he did it.
It is baffling.
He did it once or twice a week.
Right.
He made a decent amount of money, but it wasn't money. Like I couldn't live like we live now on what I make. But
remember that when you try to treat me bad.
You just need to know that I'm in charge, no matter what. I'm a realist on that case, but I also know that I couldn't have a regular job and do everything that I do.
Correct.
We've had this discussion numerous times.
You would have to pick one or the other.
Periodically, when you go paranoid about not having money, you say, well, you need to get a regular job. And then I have to remind you that I'm going to have to get rid of all these other things. And if that's the case, fine. I would have my night classes, but all my daytimes would have to go. But
all the poor seniors would miss you. They need you.
They'd forget about me pretty quick because they don't.
Because they're seniors.
But no, in this case, I've had the same conversations he's had with my dad about, you need to think about getting a real job. Be realistic. This isn't a future. Like, and those were younger ones when I talk about wanting to be a comic artist or be an artist or whatever. You're not going to make money at that. You're going to feel that. You need to get a factory job. You need to do this or whatever. Right. You go to college or whatever the thing was. My dad worked at craft for 40 years.
Yeah, that's all he did.
So I related to that part of this movie.
Yeah, and I thought it was really cool because he did, even though his parents did not believe in him, he still wanted to make them proud.
Yeah.
And prove them wrong, and he didn't want to come back a failure. And, just knowing that it's based on somebody's real life is amazing to me.
Well, and I thought too the structure worked really well because it was very much. It reminded me of not in the tame level of movie, but the David Harbour's character and the racer character, it was very much Rocky and Mick, where early on they kind of didn't like each other.
Yes,
you're a chump, you don't belong here, and then they form a bond and a friendship. They care about each other. They both have their own issues to deal with and why they're struggling at what. It's kind of the same idea of that story. And I think it's them that really make this film work.
Yep.
It's their connection, but also the format of the film is, it didn't just try to focus on the racing part of it. It tried to focus on the characters and what they're dealing with and make you believe that these people could go from sitting and playing a video game to actually racing.
Right.
They took its time through training and through different things and showing how important, because a lot of people don't realize, like, I've never raced a car before in my life, but I didn't realize the G's. Yeah, I know stuff about that because I've not only studied, I know people that have been race car drivers or
amazing.
And hearing about the heat they deal with, the pressure from the G's that you're driving, the speeds, the reflexes, the strength, the endurance. You don't think you need a lot of cardio and endurance sitting and driving a car. But when you're driving hundreds of miles an hour for sometimes days at a time, it gets exhausting. If you sit and think about driving a car from here to another state, how exhausting is it?
Yeah, but you're also going like 200 miles an hour on this.
Yeah, so you imagine that it's basically the exhaustion that would take you 6 hours to get is coming in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot that goes into it. I'm glad the movie actually has a montage.
Yes, we want a montage.
But it's not just a quick throwaway. It's really
it's a big part of what they do, all the training, the physical training. I thought it was a really well done movie.
There was a couple little things that I in a different movie would have been stupid. Whereas they show moments where one it's in the car and one it's in the actual video game thing where it's showing like the car parts and stuff come apart.
I loved that.
And come across and it looks kind of fake. But here it fits because it's reminding you of the video game. It's
showing him of how he would have been in the video. He's like visualizing.
It's showing the video game and it's showing that. So it makes sense on the way they did the CGI because they could have easily tried to make it look like real car parts and it wouldn't have worked.
And I like too had it been a
racing movie that had nothing to do with this and they did that, it would have been stupid.
Yes, but on this one they were doing the actual race and you see like how you would see it on the screen on a video game. It's like Racer 1. And it shows like highlighted in the little box. It's so cool. I actually liked it because it helped me follow the story better.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed this movie. I hope everyone gets to see it.
And one of the things you find out after the fact that I think made it even cooler because the racing stuff is the actual races are kind of secondary to the big part of the story, but they're well shot. They're exciting to watch. And then after we watched the movie, we found out I think it says that at the end of the credits, it becomes even cooler to find out that the real life guy did all the stunt driving for his acting
he got to
counterpart.
do his own driving.
So I thought that was kind of cool.
Now it says he's worked as a simulator driver for Nissan and Formula whoever. He's a stunt driver, obviously, in this movie. Says, in this year, he made his return to the 24-hour race. So, that's cool. I just think it's awesome.
I saw a lot of people had talked about how great this movie was. I'm like, you got to be kidding. This movie can't. It is. It's a really good movie. I don't think it'll make my top 10.
Because it's not about a video game. It's about a person.
It's a video game's
inspired, I guess.
Yeah, because you get a little history of the design of the video game too.
Yes,
so it has like a history of the video game, but it's really the story of this guy because of the video game. So it's not. It's still a video game movie, but it's a
heartwarming, inspirational, overcoming the odds kind of movie.
Yeah.
So hopefully you will watch it.
And I would like to give big props for them to not do the typical Hollywood ending when the asshole driver that he's always going to have to deal with doesn't suddenly come around and be his friend.
No.
You know, it looks like it's about to go that way at one point, and then he's just gone like good because that guy would probably still be pissed off.
No, they're still rivals.
I don't know if they're still rivals.
Well, I'm just saying at the end of the movie they were. It's not like they were best friends.
But anyway, check it out. Gran Turismo is going to hit.
It's actually really good.
It is a great movie.
I would watch it again. It's so good.
It's available on Blu-ray, DVD, 4K, all that good stuff. Digital now, but all that stuff on November 7th on Tuesday.
Awesome. All right, one more. Let's talk about this.
I like him. What if I do my beard like his?
That's what. Which one?
Samuel L. Jackson.
No, I was saying like this, where it's short.
No. I like the Samuel L. Jackson beard. Come on,
No, you
man.
need a nice, short, clean beard.
And a little poochy lip at the top.
No.
I've got the color of that beard going.
Oh, Lord.
You know,
tell me about KillRoom, babe.
All right. The KillRoom is a new movie that's coming from Shout Studios, which is part of... Hold on. You both wait till I say Shout Factory. That's when you say Shout. Okay. You messed up.
Go ahead.
Now. Anyway, they have their own studio thing where they've been producing original films, not just distribution like they do with a lot of their stuff. So this movie is about an art dealer who is kind of down on her luck. She's trying to keep her gallery afloat and whatnot. And in the panic of needing money, she goes into business with some shady people, only to discover a new artist.
Yeah.
And it becomes this whole thing of what's real art, what's crime, and then the wrong people see stuff. And so it's kind of this dark dramedy, if you will.
It's kind of a comedy dramedy.
I found it interesting because the story is kind of showcasing the hypocrisy of fine art, because it's always within, and as ridiculous as this movie is on the stuff that happens,
but it's true. These people,
you can easily see this happening.
Yes,
absolutely. Because of between performance art and things that you look at.
Performance art didn't make sense to me. But
one person sees something on the ground that's trash, and some other person sees it as a work of art, and it's kind of a perspective thing. But it's really about the greed of wanting something that somebody else has. So, but first of all, I'd like to say we don't see enough of Uma Thurman, so I was glad to see.
Yeah, where's she been doing?
I don't know, but I'm glad to see Uma Thurman being in something. It's got a great cast, so surprising it kind of went this way. So what did you think of it?
I really enjoyed this movie. It's weird. It's a little quirky and different, but that's what I liked about it. And I like that we are in the art world, because that's where those types of people are easily accepted. Right. But also what you're talking about, the idea of fine art, that people will pay thousands and thousands of dollars for something that looks like their baby threw up on a piece of canvas.
Yeah.
But it's art, and anything, honestly, that you make could be art. That's the thing.
Like, you just have to have somebody that wants it.
Correct.
That's all it is.
That's all it is. And so, unwittingly, Joe Magliano becomes an artist, but he shouldn't be. And it gets way out there because of who he is in real life. People find out who he is, and some people come after him.
Yeah.
And craziness ensues.
I thought all three of them looked like they were having a blast.
They were really good. All three of them are really good.
Samuel Jackson was an old school vintage Samuel Jackson, fast paced, loud talking, not as many F-bombs, but he was necessary. He was keeping the things moving. Nobody is a throwaway cameo. They're all predominantly shown in the movie. Yeah. But this is Uma Thurman's movie.
Yeah.
Which I was happy to see that, just to see her doing some stuff. But I liked just seeing the hypocrisy of everything and the ridiculous in it, and how 1 minute she's like this super snooty art thing, and then the next minute she's got to kind of become kind of this grimy whatever to pull off different heist things and stuff. And
it's cool.
And it takes some interesting twists with the end of it to become almost a heist type movie.
That's what I was gonna say. It's part like fine art, whatever. It's part like drama. It's part comedy. It's part like mob activity, and then it's part like
I think there's like a societal metaphor.
Yeah, the performance art piece to me was totally the society thing. Like people are so entertained by watching someone else in pain that they don't even think to help. They rather pull out the camera.
They assume it's.
They rather pull out the camera, watch somebody being beaten to death or whatever.
Instead of just because put the camera down and hit somebody upside the head.
It's this bizarre fascination we have with pain and torture, and people talk about, oh no, we don't watch that. But yeah, you do. You watch YouTube, you watch Twitter or whatever thing is on there, and you like to see people get hurt or fall or fight. You like to see angry
That's been something that's part of society. Like, I mean, you think about things like the Three Stooges. That whole thing was them smacking each other. It was entertainment.
And now people are like, oh, I don't
watch that.
But yeah,
ironically, one of the things that I just read an article about that's going to be changing, this is a major thing because of the way society changing, Homer will no longer strangle Bart.
Oh.
That's been happening for 20
years.
Almost 30 seasons now. That's saying because times have changed, he's no longer, just like Apu's gone.
Is he?
I don't believe he's on the show anymore.
He could be on the show.
Well, I think they've written him up. I don't know if they wrote him off the show. He wasn't ever on every episode anyway.
No.
But I know Hank Azaria is not voicing him anymore. So anyway.
This movie is actually very entertaining. It's not at all what you think it's going to be. No. It goes in crazy directions, but it's really good and well told. And I do think it really is a commentary on society. First of all, that you want everything that everyone else has. It doesn't even matter how much it costs or what it looks like those ugly cloud shoes I keep seeing. And then the other thing is that people do enjoy seeing other people in pain and don't even care to help. Yeah. I think those to me were the two biggest commentaries on this thing. That performance art thing was crazy and amazing.
Well, it takes that thing of people doing whatever they can to get ahead.
Yeah.
But and like there's a whole thing in this where they talk about, well, like there's certain dealers that buy stuff and they never display it. They just buy it and put it in a vault somewhere and hidden. And this way, like, well, why would they buy it? So they can say they have it.
I own one.
I have that one. And like they talk about, like a lot of people at their houses, they'll have a fake thing made to hang it in their house and then put the real one away. And like, well, I get that for a safety purpose. Why buy the other one? Why didn't you just have the fake one? Because they want to own that one.
Yeah.
You know, so but that's a very small piece of what this movie is. It's not a super deep movie. It's not.
No, I'm probably reading a lot into it, but I think it is deep. If you want to go deep, it's deep. If you want to just have fun, it's a fun movie.
Yeah, there's all that is there, and I think it made it a fun movie. Like when I went to watch it, I was just kind of like, all right, let's watch this. Like I like these three. Let me get it over with.
Yeah.
And I finished. I'm like. This reminded me of like an old like Quentin Tarantino type vibe, you know. It's not that intense.
And then you told me to watch it. I had no idea what any of it was. You're like, it's Joe Magliano and whoever, and I'm like, okay. I had the same thing because you didn't tell me. You just like, it's good. Watch it.
Yeah. Well, it's just like the other movie I sent you to watch that we're going to talk about next week. It's got Dolph Lundgren in it.
I haven't watched that.
Terrence Howard.
I think I have that one left.
Yeah, that's one.
I gotta watch.
That's another one that Dear Love's like, wait, what? I love that movie.
This one was surprising. I really, really liked this. And I didn't think I would. I didn't know anything about it. It surprised me.
Well, it's available now on digital, so go check it out yourself. The KillRoom, starring Joe Manganiello, Uma Thurman,
isn't it Magliano?
The ex. Who was it?
Sofia Vergara.
The ex Sofia Vergara. Who's already moved on apparently.
These people, I feel bad for them.
Oh well.
When your life is in a spotlight, it's got to be hard to have a normal life.
It's always baffling on how long some of these people actually make.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Oh, and if you want to see her daughter's in the movie, Maya Hawke.
Who's also, most people might know her for Stranger Things as well. She's done some other stuff, but she
was really good in this as well.
She has a good little part in it.
All right. Over to you,
All right, so we talking about giveaways already?
Yeah. No. Not giveaways. What's coming out on the Divd?
I thought we do giveaways first.
No, we do giveaways at the very end.
Are you sure?
Yeah, we've been doing giveaways at the very, very end.
I don't remember, but okay.
I mean, you can do them now.
Stop. I already moved on, okay? You're ruining it for everyone. All right. So there's a lot of older stuff coming out this week. Scrooged with Bill Murray's getting the 4K treatment. Trading Places with Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy's getting the 4K treatment. Tales from the Dark Side, the movie, is getting the 4K treatment. I got a copy of Violent Night. I thought it was part of like a gift thing, but apparently it's just now being released to 4K. It got released to Blu-ray and DVD first, I guess, because it was
good movie.
Because it was a surprise hit. I don't think they released it at 4K at the time. So apparently the 4K is just now coming out.
That's
so
like my favorite Christmas movie now.
Gran Turismo is actually coming out this week, as we just talked about. Both South Park Complete Season 26 and South Park's The Streaming Wars are both coming out this week. American Graffiti, the 50th anniversary, 4K is coming out. Which is a George Lucas film, the movie that financed Star Wars.
Good old Ron Howard.
And it is Ron Howard, Harrison Ford, a bunch of other people. But this is the reason. That's this movie he made, and it's how he was able to make Star Wars from the money he made from this movie.
Nice.
And it's also the movie that inspired Happy Days.
Yes.
So anyway, those are the main things. I think there's some other minor stuff here and there, but that's the big stuff coming out. Okay. Oh, well, It Lives Inside. It's not on this list. It Lives Inside comes out this week. Some of the other stuff we talked about.
All right. Coming out on the line or at the theater today, there was a new movie. We're going to start hitting all these crazy holiday movies.
Can you leave me out of those?
Classic.
I don't want to watch any of those.
So if that's anywhere near you, the Christmas classic. Coming out on Tuesday on Video Demand and Digital. This one's interesting. It's called Polaris. It's set in a post-apocalyptic future in the year 2144, where a girl has been raised by a polar bear, and she gets kidnapped by a rival tribe, and so she has to escape with the help of her polar bear, I guess.
Oh, so it's not Polaris from the X-Men?
No, this is Polaris, a girl fighting to survive. All right, coming out on Video Demand, a digital movie called Love Virtually. This is interesting. We're in a world where everyone does everything online in a virtual world, and people are trying to find love in the virtual 3D world. I don't even know. It's weird. Also coming out on Video Demand Digital, movie called Lion Girl.
I think they're sending me that one.
Okay. Does it look like anime or something?
I think it might be not. I don't know if it's the anime or what, but I think it's an Asian film. It looks like.
Okay, it's some survivors of a meteor shower who have to defend themselves against a monster called Anarok, who's just there to hunt and kill humans.
Not to be confused, The Night of the Comet, one of my favorites.
Another Christmas movie, Christmas with the Jerks.
Is this about our family?
Yes. It's this child star that doesn't get the part, so goes back home to hide out, only to maybe fall in love with an out-of-work stunt double or something. Is what it looks like.
It's the same movie.
I know. Ghosts of the Void. This looks interesting. These people have nice house, good marriage, everything's going good, but the husband has a drinking problem. And things become overwhelming in their household, and they decide, hey, let's just get out of here for a little bit. But their sleep becomes interrupted by a crazy homeless person, and strange things start to happen because people start coming around wearing crazy masks. I don't like that when people are wearing weird masks. Here we go. Christmas at the Holiday Inn, if you're so inclined to watch another Christmas romantic movie. Coming out on Wednesday, Video Demand Digital movie called Lord of Misrule.
Yes,
it's a small English town. This guy's searching for missing daughter who goes missing during the Solstice Festival. So we know it may be related to something a little bit creepy because secrets about the town begin to emerge.
I was going to tell you because I know about this movie. Hold on.
Okay. Because if it happens during the solstice, to me, that means there may be some sort of weird sacrificial ritual thing happening.
Well, I think, okay, yeah, that's this movie. This one's because it's directed from the guy that directed Orphan First Kill and The Devil Inside and The Boy 2.
It seems really creepy. Yeah. So I think it's going to be good. And it's set in an English countryside, which is creepy already. Coming out to Netflix, there's a new documentary called Cyber Bunker, the Criminal Underworld. And it's about a group of mysterious people who want to take over a NATO bunker under the town, and it's just weird, but it's based on true stories. So it's an interesting documentary. Okay, Friday. There's a lot happening on Friday at the theater. There's a new religious-based movie called Journey to Bethlehem. You may have seen the trailers. This is the one with Antonio Banderas.
Looks horrible.
It's about Joseph and Mary, and I felt like it might have been a musical or something. I don't know if
it
he
is.
was
If I
singing.
remember correctly, I think I read it.
So, I mean, I feel like I need to watch it just as a Jesus person and Antonio fan. Don't really know. I think this one everyone needs to see. They're saying this is the best movie of the year, The Holdovers. You've gotten to see it early.
I have seen it.
Okay, and you enjoyed it, correct?
Thoroughly.
Okay. This one, the one that causes controversy because it's girl power, The Marvels. I'm excited about it. We got to get caught up on everything.
The more I've seen little things about it, the more I'm excited. Because Captain Marvel is
I don't
probably
know why people are such a hater. I don't
have an issue.
Brie Larson.
No, I have
whatever reason.
My issues with Captain Marvel have nothing to do with the movie or her. I hate the character way before there was a made a movie. But I didn't hate the movie. It's probably my least favorite Marvel movie, but it's only because I'm not a fan of the character. I thought she did fine.
Yeah.
But I liked Miss Marvel. I liked WandaVision, and so the more I'm starting to see from this, there's actually a little scene that I just saw a clip, and that she's seeing Monica Rambeau for the first time.
Oh.
Remember when she sees her in the original movie, she's a little kid.
She's little.
So
now she's grown up.
She's grown up now, and so she sees her, and she's like, "Oh, I'm Colonel or whatever, Commander or whatever now." And she's like, "Oh," because she calls her Captain, but remember she calls her Captain in the original movie. Then she calls her Captain Rambeau, and she goes, "I'm Commander now," or something. So it was like this interesting,
awkward.
like, oh, you forget about.
And I don't know why people were being mean about the Miss Marvel show. That poor little girl did such a great job.
I don't know, and I still love the fact
I love that show.
That every so often somebody will share it, and there's a picture side by side where she had actually cosplayed or did Halloween as Miss Marvel when she was younger. Then she got to play Miss Marvel, and she actually wrote a Miss Marvel comic book.
Oh, that's so cute.
Marvel.
Can I just say something? And you won't be offended. I hope everyone else isn't.
I am going to be offended because you don't think I will.
I think everybody's racist. Is quite honestly the truth.
That's all the issue is, most of it.
I mean, this is an existing book that's doing well.
Well,
right?
It was
or doing well at the time.
So here's the thing.
I don't know.
It was very popular. It did very well. And it was because
the white man shut it down?
No. It ran for a long time, and they ended up killing her off in the comic recently.
Oh.
But they did it on purpose. Spoiler alert. Because at the end, remember at the end of the Miss Marvel series, we probably talk about this next week, but remember at the end of the Miss Marvel series, it talks about, it's the first time you hear the term mutant in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You're like, basically they're telling her she's a mutant. Right? So in the comics, they killed her off, but they've now brought her back because in the X-Men world, they were on this thing called Krakoa, which is this world, but this area.
Yeah.
And all their minds are stored in this thing, and so they have these pods. So anytime somebody dies, they're immediately brought back, and their mind is brought.
Download.
She just came back, and she is now officially a mutant in the Marvel comic universe.
Okay.
So she's now in the X-Men books, and
nice.
They have a new book. It's Miss Marvel, the Mutant, or whatever they call her.
So then why
Mutant Marvel, or whatever.
I think people just.
But it was a race issue.
I think it's a race issue.
It connected with people because
it connected to me.
Yeah, like I didn't like the character, but again, I didn't read the book.
But as a brown person or a brown girl, you want to see yourself represented. No, I'm not Indian, but I can understand culturally her family, their desires for her to do what they say, her to want to make her parents happy. I mean, I get the whole cultural base.
We're clearly going to have a big conversation about this next week.
What? You didn't know I was not Indian?
I'm just finding this out.
Well, I just think it's a big
deal. Anyway, so anyway, the Marvels comes out. Some big controversy, too, is the Marvels is these... I believe it's got the shortest running time of any Marvel movie to date.
It's not 3 hours? Okay. I'm excited to talk about this. It's a Wonderful Knife coming out to theaters. Kind of the first area of Christmas movies I want to see. I don't want to see none of these romantic Christmas comedy things. I guess I'll watch some. But It's a Wonderful Knife. It says on here, are you giving me an eye that it might not be coming out?
No, I'm looking at them. No, it is coming out, but I thought it was coming out
on the line.
Online.
Anyways, make time to see this one. Also coming to theaters, Your Lucky Day. It's a fight over a lottery ticket turns deadly. Also coming to theaters, oh Lord, The Great Turkey Town Miracle. Another one of those holiday feel-good movies. Video Demand and Digital, Rumble in the Dark. A cage fighter needs to repay his debts to the mob.
Oh yeah, I did want to say with Aaron Eckhart.
Aaron Eckhart, yes. So I think that one's going to be really good. Out of the Darkness follows this family in the spring of 1943 when Denmark becomes free. So that actually really looks interesting. Probably a talkie.
Oh, is The Killer finally coming
out to Netflix? The Killer.
I want to see that.
Which is this with Michael Fassbender, Tilda Swinton.
It's a David Fincher movie.
David
the
Fincher.
guy that made
A fateful near miss of an assassin's battles his employers and himself, an international manhunt ensues.
It's been getting a lot of rave reviews too.
Oh, okay, cool. Let's see what else. Also on video demand, a digital movie called The Dirty South.
Mm-mm.
No?
Mm-mm.
Why?
It's just like
Okay.
cheese. You can talk about it. It's fine.
A handsome drifter comes to town. That's all. That gives me everything I needed to know. The movie Caine explores the story of Benny caught in a gang war. That looks interesting. Video demand and digital, best birthday ever. It's a kids movie, so there you go, something for the kids. And coming to Paramount Plus next week or this week, a new series called The Curse with Emma Stone. And it says it's a genre-bending series that explores how an alleged curse disturbs the relationship of a newly married couple. There you go. That's all I got. Over to you, kind sir.
Oh, now am I doing it?
Yes.
Okay, now I got it right. All right, so most of it's the same stuff we've had. We've got a few extra copies. Still got copies of Meg 2, the Transfer Giveaway, as well as a copy of the movie War Horse 1, which we both enjoyed, that we talked about on the show sometime back when it hit theaters. We got the new Jackie Chan Right On movie that was really, really good. The movie we gave rave reviews to, Bloodthirst, at the beginning of this show. If you didn't see those reviews, maybe you enter the contest and then watch that.
There you go.
And we got copies of Blue Beetle that I mentioned earlier, as well as some digital copies of Big Fat Greek Wedding 3, which will be in this contest will be ending this week for the Greek people.
No more Greek wedding.
No Greek wedding after this.
All right.
So if you want to enter it, better enter it now.
All right.
That's
it for today.
That's what's happening.
Thank you so much for joining us this week. Make sure you check out our website, HollywoodMatrimony.com. Go to the contest page. Click that button. Enter for everything that's free. You will win something, we hope.
Don't tell everybody that. That means I have to give stuff to everybody.
Oh, well, if you enter the contest, you could probably win. We will see you here next week, everyone.
Peace out, dog.
Peace be with you.